Hello, I'm Sydney and welcome back to my Flock and Squawk, and today we are going to be taking a look at a fitness video from the 1940s. I believe it is issued by the British government for women on staying fit, active, healthy, so on and so forth, but I have not taken a look at the video itself, so let us take a look together. Let me get it set up and off we'll go.
In all kinds of halls all over the country, keep fit classes for girls and women are being held. These two don't mean to be late if they can help it. People of all types and classes take part, and they soon make friends and conversation. And of course, you never know when you may need a friend to get you out of a dilemma, especially if it's a bit tight. The leader sees that the hall is well aired, and then gathers the class together for the first skip round. Everyone joins in. And if you're a bit late, you find a place wherever you fit in.
So, first off, I like that they have that locker room scene of, like, you just get there, everyone of any class comes, they, just help each other out, get ready. They've got these little uniforms which are so cute and kind of unexpected because, like, if you go to a modern gym, there isn't a uniform. There's, like, clothes that you expect people to be wearing, but not, like, a uniform for most, like, exercise fitness classes. And then it starts off, the first exercise is skipping in a large circle. So, right off the bat, easy. I, as a woman, can skip around in a field or a gym all day. No problem. We got this handled. Coordinated routine and not like
after this first
exercise.
Limber up, there's some quiet walking to give you time to get back control of your breath. Some of the newcomers who have only just joined are a bit out of condition, and this chance of a rest is very welcome. The work of the class is adapted to the age of its members. No one is asked to do anything too strenuous. When the music stops, they all sit down for a foot movement. Our feet ought to be very much more flexible than they are, and well-exercised feet help you to keep fresh in housework or shopping or standing about at your job. Feet are not always lovely to look at. Many of the girls you see on a bathing beach are perfectly beautiful from head to ankle, but from the ankle downwards they spoil the effect. Some girls are more afraid of a sandal than a scandal. But this exercise also helps to beautify the feet, so it's worthwhile taking...
Wait, did he just say some women are more afraid of a sandal than a scandal? Because of how their feet look, or is he implying that the flexibility of their feet can be a scandal? Or, I'm getting confused, but I just thought that if he did say some women are more afraid of a sandal than a scandal, brilliant writing. But it's just, I don't think I've known anyone afraid of a sandal more than they have been, like an actual scandal. Who knows? I thought that was funny to point out, but nothing in their exercise routine is like crazy. It doesn't seem like an adult exercise, though. This seems more of like getting your children eager to exercise. And by the way, this is Radar. She's my gray little kitten, and she has decided to grace me with her presence this morning. So I feel very blessed, and if you hear her or you see this fuzzy gray mound moving. Just know it's radar. So let's continue on.
In little trouble. Now for the next movement. See how she peels her foot off the ground. This is making her feet supple for all her walking or running or dancing.
Okay, now it's starting to look like an actual exercise of high knees. But one thing that I want to point out is that out of all the women in the exercise class, there's not a large-bodied person. They're all sort of like what we might consider like mid-sized bodies downwards. There is not a big, beautiful woman in this group. Not that I'm shaming anyone, it just is interesting to point out there's not a large-bodied person, or what we might consider a large-bodied person. There doesn't look like there is any like Amy or Tammy Slaytons in this group. Not even like people half Amy Tammy's size. Well, maybe not Amy now that she has lost some weight, but still they're all very much like how I feel, my size, sort of downwards. And maybe it's because it's black and white, but I don't see any people of color. It's all appears to be young white women of what's considered like a moderate, medium-sized woman down. I don't see a lot of diversity. Granted, this was the 40s and this is like an exercise video, so they might want to show the widest or a wide example of, or they might want to be showing an example of the actual people in these classes. But it does raise the question of, did they select this class or did they select these people to portray a class based on their looks alone and their physical ability, obviously, because they are in this class. But it does sort of raise that question of, how were these people picked? I do appreciate that they're doing the health and fitness, anyone, newcomers, people who have been at it, whatever. But it is kind of interesting that there isn't a lot of diversity. Maybe not so surprising because it is the 40s, this video is being filmed, but it's just interesting, so let's continue on.
It's an attractive exercise, and girls who are in the habit of kicking off their shoes in a cinema might pass the time exercising their toes. But you should make all your joints flexible, not only in your feet, but also in your chest and the upper part of your back. Can you do this? It will help you to hold yourself well. It looks quite simple, but naturally there is a right way and a wrong way of doing this, as there is of everything else. When they go down again, we're going to show you what happens to the hands, for the hands play an important part. They relax and then turn round, not by an arm movement, but by shoulder movement. Look how the shoulder blades pull together. If you look very hard, you can see very well. Every muscle is playing its part in the movement.
So I'm going to pause it again, and at least from what they showed so far, nothing's out of the ordinary. Like, I do feel like these are exercises that everyday women or everyday people in general, children, otherwise, even larger bodied people that they aren't showing, could do this. You could sit in a chair and lean forward and then slowly bring yourself up, exerting, movement on your shoulder blades and bringing it into your core. Stretching your feet and ankles, that's something you can easily do. Turning something like skipping into more of an exercise. Yeah, those are all things that I feel like you could easily incorporate into your daily life and don't necessarily need a dedicated workout group or time to go and do it. But I do like that they, at least so far, are all practical. like you can incorporate this into your daily life. Like they said, some people kick off their shoes at the cinema. You can do this.
Now the lady has got dressed again, we can go back to the class and show you another movement in the scheme of keeping fit. If you have been able to do that shoulder exercise well, you'll particularly enjoy this one. Now learn to balance, for balance is most important. Let's watch how they do it in groups of 3. Swing up early, hold it. Some find it very difficult and look worried about it. But here is a really good poise. Now they break up from their little groups and reform for the next movement. This time it is a movement for the arms, and for this you must be upright, not giving anywhere.
I do kind of like how it is.
This is an example of how not to do it.
Class of sorts. It looks like it'd be actually.
This is the correct way. Poise yourself so that your arms can move freely. By now you should be ready to exercise your whole body, not just a bit at a time. And this is the perfect movement to give you that exercise. Ready, go.
What they have to do in like the military pilots where these are all just working.
You'll like the next one because it's specially created to give you a slim waistline. By this time the class has got rid of all those creaks in the joints. Toes touching your opposite number, and now up with the knees and away with those rolls of fat round the middle.
Okay, I've definitely.
This is another fascinating movement,
like
reminiscent of the hammers on a grand piano.
Or for volleyball. It's sort of like a reverse crunch.
Up till now they've all been exercising, so for a change they're going to try relaxing. In these strenuous days it's worthwhile to know how to relax properly. And the experienced eye of the instructor looks round the class and tells at once who is relaxing properly and who has just passed out. Well, we said we wanted them to relax, and here they are doing it properly. They all look about as full of life as if it were time to get up in the morning. But as soon as we give the word, they'll come very much to life. They've exercised and relaxed, and now they feel in perfect physical condition, buoyant and light as air.
So I'm not a health professional, I'm not an exercise guru or anything, but I do feel like all of that's pretty like reasonable and not too out of place in what would be a normal gym. Maybe more
The next part of the class is composed of different activities, and each member may choose to do which one she likes best. 9 of them are skipping, which is a fine all-round exercise but hard work.
I even got the dancing.
Needs frequent periods of rest. Notice how alive and springy the feet are. Notice the excellent poise of the body and the easy rhythmic action of arms and shoulders. If you don't fancy skipping, you can try a little practice with the medicine balls, a dead weight of 2 pounds each. To catch without a jerk, the whole body must give. There is a beautiful stretch as the ball is thrown up.
Wow.
And of course there are several variations in the exercise with the medicine ball. Another one is the swing. And to do this movement correctly, you need lots of rhythm and no stiff muscles at all. As an exercise for wrists and hands, it is hard to beat. If you do this properly and regularly, you'll find that it's costing you less in broken crockery when it comes to washing up time. And now for an overhead exercise for the whole body. From toes to fingertips, every muscle and fiber is getting a job to do. Don't forget that the medicine ball weighs 2 pounds, yet these girls control it with their fingertips as if it were a balloon. These slow motion studies enable you to appreciate the rhythm of this movement. In fact, it has in it all the grace of the famous balloon dance, But of course you can do this version without starting the neighbors talking. And this exercise comprises the same movement as the previous one, although it is slightly different in execution. For while you continue the swing of the body and arms, you let the ball go. If you want to do this exercise before breakfast at home, you can easily persuade your husband or brother to catch the ball while he's shaving. Now, that's enough of that.
So I'm just going to pause it. He said you can do this exercise at home if you can convince your husband or brother to do it while they're shaving. I'm not so sure they'd want to catch a 2-pound medicine ball coming at them when you're swinging it around. But I do like that. Oh, you can just... Most of these, I feel like you can do at home because they are low equipment needs. Like this is a 2-pound medicine ball that they were doing for multiple exercises and a jump rope. Some space and, a garden to skip in. So I feel like it's like, maybe it's really out of date, like, ideas regarding, like, exercise. I wouldn't know. But I feel like it's not, like, bad. They're getting them moving. They're using weight, or at least a weighted ball. Cardio's in there with jump roping. It doesn't seem that bad.
Some of the members who find the medicine ball too strenuous try an easy game with the bean bags. The idea is to pick them up and pass them along to the leader. After that, the two teams run across and each player catches her bag and throws it back. Then they all form the line again, pass the bags again, and try to beat the time of the opposite line. It's great fun, quite simple, and a dead heat. But whatever forms of activity they may have been enjoying, all the class joins in the dance that ends the lesson. After that, they come out much fresher than they went in, and still full of conversation. Many halls nowadays are equipped with shower baths, and after all that exercise, there's nothing in the world to equal a shower bath. Is it cold? Yes, but she feels fine and fit.
So Radar is back with me, and let's just wrap up my thoughts on that video. I feel like it was a perfect entryway into more strenuous exercise. It's getting you up, it's getting you moving, a little weight, a little teamwork, a little dancing. I feel like there's nothing crazy wrong with it. Like, I'm not an expert in any way, but it doesn't seem that far off from, like, a school gym, like with young kids. Like, it's a perfect entryway into maybe more serious exercise. But I feel like if I were a housewife, or if I were me today, like, that amount of effort and whatnot in a group scenario, that doesn't seem bad at all. Like, I feel like it would be very enjoyable and pleasant to be like, you dance, you do a little chair activities, you get up moving, jump rope, you play a little beanbag game, you toss around a medicine ball. Nothing like crazy, like strenuous, but also it works muscles and gets you up and moving, cardio. Sorry, Radar is playing with the microphone. But I feel like it's still relevant information of, like, you can get up and moving. It doesn't have to be weightlifting. It doesn't have to be running. You can just jump rope and play games or exercise games. You can dance. So I think overall, pretty good information from the British government back in the 40s. I would be interested in contrasting, like, Let's Dance at the end to, pushing it through a weightlifting video. It's quite different from what we might see today. But overall, I think it was very interesting, and I hope you enjoyed watching it with me. This is a series that I've been doing of looking at older PSA type videos. This is more of like a general PSA and not so much the teen dating that I had been looking at. But if you're interested in what it was like dating in the 1950s, I've got about 3 videos on that so far. So feel free to check out my channel, and whatever else, let me know in the comments below what you might want me to look at next time. I'm sorry my voice is a little rough, but thank you so much for coming to my Flock and Squawk, and I hope you have a great day.